There we go. Okay, sorry about that. So I intended to do an episode either Thursday or Friday. I didn't end up doing it. I have been keeping an eye on the RSS feed. So there'll be plenty of news to go over. Not missing a beat here. Just missing broadcasts. So let's see if I can unhide Chrome. I'm just going to get into the news here. I have some interesting articles. You can see there's a bunch here. We'll just go through them. So first, U.S. officially raises tobacco buying age to 21. I don't think this is really going to do much. Have some delicious coffee. Some delicious instant coffee. It was a gift, and on the package it says copyright 2015, so it's some 4-year-old instant coffee, but hey, people complain about the flavor. Tastes fine to me. I don't really care. So this, I don't know if this has been signed by the president yet, but it was passed by both houses of Congress, and it's going to raise the age of consumption of cigars, cigarettes, chew, or vapes up to 21 nationally. Really, I think it's kind of dumb. If someone wants to smoke tobacco, they're going to get their hands on it. Um, again, it's kind of dumb that you're an adult at the age of 18, but you can't consume these products. It's kind of hypocritical. You know, you can join the military and go kill people, but you can't smoke tobacco. It's kind of weird. Um, and then also, this was actually a rider on a defense spending bill. It has some other stuff, paid parental leave, which, if you're going to have everyone be wage slaves, well, you might as well include that. Raise for the military, that's neither here nor there. Space Force, neither here nor there. Southern border wall funding, I could not find too many details on this. I know with the last government shutdown, there was a provision saying Trump could not use those prototype demos that were all over the news, you know, the 5 different types of walls. I don't know if there's any sort of limitations on this wall funding. I couldn't find anything specific without digging into the bill itself, and really didn't want to do that. It repeals, a so-called Cadillac tax on health plans. So I looked a little into this, and basically, it's the government telling health insurance providers that if the value of the plan is more than this, well, that's too much. Sorry, but you're protecting your customers too well with your insurance. So what you're gonna have to do is anything above about $11,000 for an individual, you're gonna have to pay a 40% tax on, which is huge, especially for the insurance industry. So basically, kneecapped anyone who wanted to have good health insurance provided by their employer. And then, of course, raises smoking age of 21. Really dumb. Don't know why it's there. But hey, it's the law now. Another CNN article, more than 6 million U.S. middle and high schools used tobacco products in 2019. 1 in 3 high school students and about 1 in 8 middle school students are current tobacco users. That's a little... You know they're messing with the term tobacco users there. That doesn't mean people who are smoking cigarettes every day at school. It includes people who, you know, vape, mainly for the flavor. They use the product at least once in 30 days. 6th year in a row, e-cigarettes were the most commonly used tobacco product among high school and middle school students. That's kind of a good thing. They're at least not giving themselves lung cancer and all the other negative health effects. It's not good that they're vaping or smoking in general, but they're going with, you know, a more healthy alternative. More than 55% of students reported using e-cigarettes only. Yeah. It's a very available product. It's not something that you can control. Obviously, you can restrict stores and stuff not shipping that to minors or selling to minors. But there's always online retailers. You can go on eBay and you can order that kind of stuff straight to your doorstep. And of course, even if you can't, a friend who's 18 will. These aren't super it's not really a controllable device because you can always market it as something else. You don't have to say it's for tobacco use. Even if you do, it's not a complicated device to make. So it's not like this is some super advanced technology that can be hidden from the public. So, students are going to get their hands on these sorts of things. It's just a reality situation. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, yeah. The report identified two of the largest factors in people trying and continuing to use tobacco products: advertising and flavored tobacco products. Like I said, that's probably very true. People are vaping because of the flavor, because it's like candy. When I originally, it's kind of a fun hobby. You can build coils and stuff. When I did vape for a little bit, I vaped zero nicotine, just because it tastes nice. It's a fun hobby, and it's fun to blow clouds. And there's no major harm. The most accurate studies we have show it's 5% as harmful as cigarettes. So, and that's obviously with inhalation. If you're not inhaling, it's not going to be extremely harmful for you. 9 out of 10 saw an ad. Yeah, that's because there's ads everywhere on TV. They did so because they were curious. They saw people try it. Blah, blah, blah. Nearly 30% of students perceived little to no harm from intermittent use of e-cigarettes. 16% saw little to no harm using hookah. I'm not too familiar on the science of hookah. I am on cigarette, cigar, dip, snus, and vapes. I actually don't know too much about hookahs. Though it's kind of weird because all these anti-tobacco people treat hookah and other forms of tobacco like they treat vaping as like it's as bad as cigarettes, and then they group hookah in with them. So it's really hard for me to judge based on their opinions on whether it's actually harmful or not. It just muddies the water, and it does lead people to much more harmful views. Yeah, vaping linked with long-term risk of respiratory disease. Yeah, I'm not gonna buy that one, Chief. They're probably torturing the numbers in the study to make them say what they want. This is more just propaganda. We already know, according to British studies, that it's 95% more healthy than cigarettes. And it's kind of funny. The paradigm here is kind of funny because in the U.S. we have a profit-driven medical system. So if people are getting sick, that's good. In the U.K., they have a set amount of money to spend, so they have to ration out their healthcare. And in the UK, they want people to switch from cigarettes to vapes because it helps save their healthcare system money. Whereas in the US, they don't care. Insurance companies are paying for it. Government's going to subsidize it all. It's good. I read in the study. It's just I didn't really care. Teen vaping of marijuana is on the rise. Study finds. Yeah, it's weird. I see on social media like these potheads, and they're saying, "Oh, vaping weed is less healthy than smoking it." Like, wait a minute. Burning plant material and inhaling into your lungs is less harmful than extracting a chemical from the plant and consuming it in a non-combustible manner. Really? Oh man. People have some crazy opinions. But, this really says nothing because vaping as a product is on the rise. It barely became invented, so of course it's going to be on the rise until it stabilizes at some point. Yeah, vaping crisis. 13 dead, hundreds with lung injuries from vaping in the U.S. Yeah, this was really silly. He's just playing really bad devil's advocate, but unironically, this guy's actually pretty reasonable. He actually has some good arguments for like why keeping flavored stuff legal is good, other than just the liberty aspect. It's he makes the argument that people who say are addicted to nicotine, they can replacing that cigarette sensation, the taste and stuff, with another flavor can help break your addiction, which I don't necessarily agree with that, but I think that's pretty interesting. GOP Rep Wright on impeachment. Pelosi is trying to set the stage of the Senate trial as illegitimate. We already knew this from the start. We already knew that uh, Democrats are never going to get 2/3. So of course she's going to try to make it seem like, oh, Trump cheated. I actually tweeted about that before he even got impeached. Elizabeth Warren's campaign fundraising plummets 30% in fourth quarter. You know, I think she has one of the better chances when it comes to the Democratic candidates. This is worrying because I think her policy wise and the optics, she's better than people like Joe Biden or Andrew Yang. But I don't think the establishment is going to let her go. One sec, I'm getting a call. Yeah, I don't think the Democrat establishment is going to let her become their primary candidate. Let me see. Sorry about this. So yeah, I think, like I said, she has probably better optics, but the Democrat establishment, I don't think they're going to let her go. I think they're really going to push someone like Biden. Tulsi Gabbard is obviously one of the most strong candidates up there. But again, the establishment's not going to let her take the nomination. She's too damaging to their image. AOC slams Buttigieg for being funded by billionaires, but accepted funds from billionaire Tom Steyer. Of course, they're just going to be eating their own. It's funny because the Democrat Party has like hundreds and hundreds of $1 million funding them. They just get money poured into them all the time. And they're talking about, oh, we fight for the small man. Oh yeah, totally. It's like, no, you guys have tons of money. Crazy amounts of money. Virginia school district to allow students one excuse absence to protest. You know, that's just purely for the media appearance. That's purely for the media appearance. You know, you really need these pictures of marching students for whatever issue benefits your political party. It's actually quite a good racket they have going there. Bernie Sanders gaining ground in 2020 primary battle. Buckle up. No, that's not happening. Sorry, that's not happening, Bernie. No one's gonna vote for Bernie on like an America level scale. I say this all these people I know who support him. He's just like every other politician. He's a liar, just like the rest. He just says slightly nicer things. He says, "Oh, we need to get money out of politics." Meanwhile, he's basically pandering to insurance companies, medical companies to just explode their profits with government money. Basically tanking half the industry. The other half gets picked up by the government, and then the owners of those businesses are gonna make out like bandits. Plus, he had a heart attack. That kind of swept that under the rug. All right, next. Oh, so this was something interesting I did want to talk about. I don't even know how to pronounce it. Duterte? I don't know. He banned a couple UN senators and threatened new visa rules for Americans. Something had to do with, I guess, some Americans. I don't know what they did. If you don't know, Philippines are having this giant drug war, where he's just straight up executing drug dealers and drug addicts. Like, they're literally just rolling through and just killing them in the streets. It's pretty crazy, and it's funny because you can't find good research on it. Almost like, so I was interested. I thought, he thinks this is a huge issue. Maybe it is for his country. So I was like, how many people are dying from overdoses? How many addicts are in the Philippines right now? Because if 30% of your country is addicted to drugs, that's a serious issue that could collapse the country very quickly. And everything on Google, everything is, he's killing this many people, he's killing this many people have died in the Philippine drug war. I'm like, well, that's relative. Obviously, it's bad if he's running around just executing people. That's actually pretty horrible. But if your country's going to collapse in the next 5 to 10 years from drug abuse, that might be a little bit of a bigger issue. So I was actually able to find it. Let me see if I can find it at a few things. Okay. So I think I closed it. This is the official estimate of drug users nationwide. It went up to 6.7 million people. This is a country of 100 million people, and you have probably around 10% of people using drugs. I don't know. I don't see how in such a short span it could drop down to 1 million people. Plus, there isn't actually anything over the past 5 to 6 years, which is kind of important. You can see, obviously, drug raids and stuff are going up. Marijuana plant sites, I mean, who really cares? Profile rehab patients, and then I looked this up. The drugs being used by rehab patients is shabu, which is meth. So pretty much everyone who's addicted to drugs other than weed, it's meth. And then this is other stuff like rugby is, I think, turpentine or something, or toluene. It's a solvent, basically. People are getting high off of cocaine, diazepam. I don't know that off the top of my head. And then Nubain, I think, was another. I think that was like an opiate or something. So basically, they're having a giant meth crisis, and it's crazy what's happening in their country right now. They have the Islamic State committing terrorist attacks. They have communists trying to overthrow the government. They have the Chinese or Japanese triad gang selling drugs, and they had another gang. I can't remember which one it was. Oh, it was what was it? It's one of the Sinaloa cartel. They were also selling drugs. So you have two major syndicates selling drugs, plus two major organizations just destabilizing the government at the same time. Seems like there's a pretty big effort to mess up the country, and it also would explain why he's taking such extreme measures to just executing people in the streets. Obviously, it's bad, but there's a lot of stuff happening. And like I said, we don't have data for the past 4 or 5 years, but it's been as high as almost 10% of the population. And I went here. This is America's drug overdose deaths. In 2017, so only a couple years ago, it was about 10,000 people in a country of 325 million. Let me do the math on that real quick again. It was an incredibly small amount. Let's see, 10,333. It's less than, it's like 3% of 1%, basically. Yeah, it is 0.3% of 1% of America dies from drug overdoses. So if you have 10% of the Philippine country being addicted to meth, yeah, that's a really bad situation. And it adds some perspective to this whole drug war. Why he might be taking, not why it's justified, but why he might be taking such extreme measures. This I thought was kind of funny. Well, not funny, but interesting. You know, I don't know. I think it was in 2014, 2015. ISIS released these videos of them. Like, they got some like super high-end, high-speed cameras, and they had like executions at like 10,000 FPS, which is weird because you have these people with like some very high-end modern technology, and then you're importing it into the 12th century, and they're chopping people's heads off and sharing it as propaganda. Yeah, it's pretty crazy how messed up the Middle East is. They really stopped their cultural development. This I thought was really silly. Orwellian dehumanization or saving seconds for extra commercials. So yeah, so Home Alone 2, they got rid of the Trump cameo. Because when this movie came out, he was just, a very famous celebrity. And in the lobby, he just goes, or he asks Trump a question. It's a cameo. And then in this, they cut it out. They, like, skip ahead. We can just watch that real quick. It's right here. Yeah, let's get the audio. Yeah, it says, where's the lobby? Down the hall to the left. That's it. Obviously, this was a political reason. People were pretty salty, I guess, the media companies. Yeah, the left wants the public to forget how popular Trump was. Yeah, there he is with Bill and Hillary. Don't know who that is. Oprah. Uh, I know who they are. I don't. Their names escape me at the moment. What else? Oh, all those hacks got Amazon Ring sued. This is fantastic. So not only is it spying on you, but Amazon's getting sued for how broken these devices are. They're very insecure. People can basically get your Wi-Fi password from them, get onto your network, use it as a jumping point to hack other devices on your network. Uh, and the lawsuit is basically, where is it? Yeah, someone hacked it. The guy who's suing, someone hacked it and talked to his kids using the speaker. The suit rests on whether Amazon knew its Ring devices were susceptible to hackers and didn't implement measures to protect users. So basically, it's a liability case. Um, the book isn't going to get thrown to Amazon. I hope it does. I really hope they get sued for tons of money. But it's going to be like the oil companies. Oh yeah, we spilled 50 million gallons of oil in the Gulf of Mexico, and we got 0.5% of our annual revenue as a fine. I don't think anything's gonna happen. Next up, Biden will not testify in the impeachment trial if subpoenaed. Yeah, because he knows it's gonna be it's gonna be unjustified. It's just gonna be slinging crap with no justification. So yeah, he wants to stay away as far from it as possible because he knows it's going to make him look bad, especially with his presidential trial. Even if he says publicly like, "Oh yeah, Trump should be impeached," or whatever, he's just going to stay away from the dumpster fire that they've created. Baltimore breaks city record for killings per capita. Of course, it's all gang stuff. Yeah, it's like, oh, let me find the statistic. It's something like over half of all murders, or it is 80 or 90% of murders happen to 5 counties. Let me look this up. U.S. murders concentrate in 5% of counties. 68% of killings occur in 5% of counties. So it shows you how concentrated the homicides are. You can see, obviously, San Francisco, pretty much anywhere that there's going to be a lot of drug trafficking. So obviously, Florida, retirees, a lot of rich people. California, all the trafficking route. You can find the FBI maps. They have all the general trafficking routes where people are just going up through here, up to Washington and into Canada, up to New York, Chicago demand. You can see a loose correlation in the map here. So if you want to reduce your odds of being killed by 70%, don't live in these red spots. Move up to North Dakota or northern Texas. You'll be nice and safe. Well, not safe. The animals will try to kill you, but you won't die from gang violence. Obama appointee blocks North Carolina from requiring voter ID. Not too surprising. It's a voting strategy. It's not a human rights issue. It's a way to stuff your roles. Let's see. Am I getting cut off? Yeah, a little bit. Oh, wait. Oh, yeah. Voting strategy. Edward Gallagher, Navy SEALs, called platoon leader freaking evil. So he's a platoon leader. The people under him hated him. He got charged with posing with a dead body, and then Trump pardoned him. And this is something funny in the article. Gallagher was accused of stabbing and captured teenager Islamic State fighter to death and randomly shooting civilians while serving in Iraq, including a young girl. Who would have thought our top operatives, where their job is literally to kill people, um, might not be the most courteous of people. People, like, they have to be delusional if they don't think this kind of stuff happens over there. Like, yeah, of course the military law is very strict, but of course this stuff happens over there. His problem specifically was he got caught doing it. This stuff happens every day, and you know, he just got caught doing it. Don't act like this stuff doesn't happen, because it does, and it's horrible. Let's see if I can find it. There's a funny quote from this article. Oh yeah. So Trump is the commander-in-chief of all of the armed forces. He is the top dog of our military. In a remarkable intervention that put him directly at odds with the Navy senior command, he would not be taking away his trident pin. He got demoted, basically, and I think the charges got dropped. But yeah, put him in odds with senior command. No, he is senior command. And then I went on his Instagram here just because it's linked. It's funny, all the comments are ragging on him now. No, not that. There's some funny ones. What are the funny ones? Where are the funny ones? This might be it. Yeah, quotes. You could tell he's perfectly okay with killing anybody that was moving. The guy is freaking evil. This guy is toxic. No, there's a really funny one. They were super salty, though. Oh, well, I can't find them. I stumbled on them earlier. Oh, I think this is it. A photo of two psychopaths and the wives who try to provide cover for their insane acts. That's a good one. Oh, my teeth are getting green screened, I think. Whatever. Being honored by a criminal isn't that great of an honor, girlfriend. I think that guy needs some help. Such a shame Trump thinks it's okay to let child murdering scum go unpunished. Yeah, just ignore all the artillery people who blow up schools all the time. This was an interesting article I wanted to cover. U.S. military contractors sued for funding terrorism in Afghanistan with protection payments to Taliban. So what happened was the Taliban was going up to people and saying, hey, pay us money or we're going to blow your thing up. Because they can do that. They have guns and stuff, and it doesn't cost very much to cause a lot of civil infrastructure damage during a project. Walk up in the middle of the night and blow it up or whatever. So they paid protection money. And then they took this protection money and used it to fund terrorism against people who didn't pay the money. Quite the scheme going on there. It was pretty crazy. So a lawsuit filed in federal court. Over 143 families of U.S. soldiers and contractors injured or killed during these attacks. Blah, blah, blah. Anywhere between 20 and 40% of the funding for major projects like the Kajaki Dam and portion of the Ring Road went into the pockets of Afghan militants. That's crazy. I wonder what would have happened if we spent that on additional security for these people instead of just bribing people to blow us up. I think that is crazy. With the Afghanistan papers coming out about how we've just been wasting all this time here. We know that pretty much every single soldier's death there has been for no reason at all. I mean, 3 years into the war, generals not knowing why we're there. Like I said in a previous episode, the general said, yeah, we're over here. They're attacking us, so we're fighting back, and we need more money to defend against attacks from us blowing random stuff up. Some government estimates show the Taliban's strength in 2019 greater than at any time over the past 18 years. Claimed over 38,000 Afghan civilians, 2,400 soldiers, and over $2 trillion in taxpayer funds. Yeah, with the Afghan papers and now this coming out, it's looking worse and worse. If you've kept up on it at all, it's just It's just, there's no reason we're over there anymore. Other than, Saudi Arabian or Israeli interest, which should not be the reason we're over there. Obama's favorite books of 2019. Alright, one sec. I'm receiving a virtue signal. I'm prepped and primed for this. The Age of Surveillance Capitalism. The Anarchy. Relentless Rise of the East India Company. That's going to be an anti-colonialism thing, I'm sure. Furious Outers, Murder, Fraud, in the Last Trial, Harper Lee. I don't... Girl, women, other. Native American. Resisting the Attention Economy. Lost Children Archive. Yeah, these are all, like... If anything, he probably got either paid by these people or they did something for him and now he's pushing their book, so they'll get money. 24 states will raise the minimum wage. Just set it on a 3% hike, like, every year with inflation.
Working for the minimum wage isn't fun.
Stop. Alright, there we go. Don't really care. California's going to have $15 an hour minimum wage soon. Right now, the minimum wage is $12 an hour. So, like, I work a semi-skilled job, and our wages are going up basically $1 in line with minimum wage going up too. So, instead of making, for example, like, and I'm just throwing numbers out here, instead of making 30% more than minimum wage, we're going to be making like 20% once everything's scaled out. So it's basically depreciating the pay of skilled labor. Obviously, if you're making like, $25-$30 an hour, it doesn't affect you as much, but it still does. Let's see Vox's opinion on why. Let's hear Sleepy Joe defend his opinion to stay away from this dumpster fire. Oh, there's no reason for subpoenas. That's actually a really good way to distance himself. That's very clever. He was not so sleepy when he thought that up, or someone told it to him. Tunisia becomes first Arab nation to launch sex ed in schools. Weird. McDonald's employees say one who mouse helped me at drive-thru. That's good. See, this is the kind of stuff I hate in the news. CNN seems like a lot of fluff like this, where it's, lady missing after being seen with two men, and saying, "Oh, help me" or something or whatever. Yeah, see, 12-year-old fatally hit by car donates organs, saving 4 lives. That's good, but that's not the really big important news. That's filler. See, look at this. Indiana woman arrested after son 5 found inside running washing machine. Yeah, that's horrible. She should go to jail for a very long time. Not very important on the national scale. A Texas TV camera captures tractor trailer crash. Well, we have to watch this. This is obviously very important. Is that after the fact? This is obviously super important, so that's why we're watching it. Oh, is it? Oh, here it is. Exclusive video. KCBD crew captures video semi-crash on Slayton Highway. Let's zoom in for you guys, so you can see this super important thing. Oh yeah, so there's fog. Oh dang, that looked crazy. That does not look fun. Play the video. Jesus, it crashed. So yeah, it's foggy. It looks like they're pulling off the road. It looks like that car might have caused it. No, okay, that car like pulls into the other lane. Dang, that is oof. Hope no one got hurt from that. So it looks like that car swerves in front of it, and then the semi is also turning off the road into where literally everyone is. The careening truck struck a Texas trooper and pinned a man in a pickup, sending both hospital non-life-threatening injuries. That's good. Good thing no one got hurt. That is good. I wonder what people think about this. Uh, uh, do, do, do. Don't do it. They'll tell you about where babies come from, and 10 years down the road, they'll be teaching your son how to give a good BJ and slam his buddy in the ass. Sorry for the vulgarity, but that's kind of accurate with the UK giving how to touch yourself lessons to 6 or 8-year-olds or whatever it was. I think there's even one report of like kindergartners being taught about it. Um, let's see. This is a comment from Tony. This is not my words. I am quoting from him. Every Muslim nation is a terrorist state as taught in the Quran. I thought that said Korean. Islam is a seditious, discriminatory, deceitful, tyrannical, and terrorist criminal enterprise against all non-Muslims. And he gives verses. So let's see if this is true. Let's see. And the disbelievers planned, but Allah planned, and Allah is the best of planners. Oh, well, yeah. That's a lot of text. I don't really care. It's kind of going over stuff people recognize that it has an issue with extremism, especially in the Middle East. U.S. mass killings hit new high in 2019. Again, not really actual mass killings. Anything over 4 is a mass shooting. 4 deaths. So most mass shootings happen in Chicago and New York, San Francisco. And these aren't like gang people aren't getting high on meth and just shooting up places. No. If they're getting high on meth and shooting up places, it's competitors to their gang. They're doing drive-by shootings or actual firefights between gang wars. That's how these mass shootings happen. Blah blah blah. No, Daily Caller does not print a whole lot. Russia's hypersonic missile. Yeah, I saw a report about that. Egypt road accidents killed 28, including tourists. That's not good. Scuffles erupt as parish protesters rally against pension reforms. First it's taxes, now it's pension reforms. Yeah, it's weird. European people, like, they have the fighting spirit. Like, they just can't wait to fight. In Britain, you have all these deaths at sports games and stuff. It's crazy. They have to. We talked about the Millwall brick. France, they're straight up like attacking police with like blunt objects and stuff. I mean, it's kind of a good thing they don't have guns, or they would already had multiple revolutions over gas prices and stuff. Oh yeah, I saw that Rush Hour vehicle bomb. That was a Islamic terrorist or extremist. 76 killed by a vehicle bomb. Yeah, a lot of those African, Asian, and European countries, they have to worry a lot more about this type of extremism because they are directly connected on land. They can directly travel over to those countries. Whereas in America, yeah, they are coming through the southern border through Mexico and northern border through Canada, but it takes a lot more effort. There's normally tighter controls on seafaring travel. Apple sues or Doctor sues Apple over Apple Watch heart monitoring rate method. I wonder if this is going to be something to do with like radiation, non-ionizing radiation. Oh, it violates a patent held by a cardiologist. So it's not actually the detection of the heartbeat. There's some sort of software pattern detecting whether it's regular or irregular. That sounds like honestly like a patent troll. It sounds like he's doing something very non-specific, and it's all in software, so it's not like he can know whether they copied his code or not. It just sounds like a patent troll to me. Well, that looks like all the news. Just want to do a quick one. It looks like, oh yeah, we're almost at 45 minutes. Oh, 13 News CNN. Yeah, it doesn't look like there's too much more going on. Yeah, nothing's really happening. We have the impeachment. We already know that's a dead end. It's Christmas time, so Congress took their break. Trump passed that bill with some riders. We talked about that. Again, the Middle Eastern war, the Afghanistan war, we're realizing is more and more just a giant waste of time. There isn't really too much to talk about. I guess the Elizabeth Warren thing, that's a little interesting. She's losing a lot of funding. Biden not complying. We already kind of knew that he was going to, any major politician is going to try to distance themselves. If they're not going to grandstand, they're going to distance themselves from it. I think Tulsi Gabbard's voting present. I saw some articles bashing over that. I think that's a smart choice for her, because she's being edgy with her choice. She's being edgy about it, but it's the good choice to make. She's not only, she can say, yes, I don't like him, but she's appealing to the more moderate Democrats who may dislike Trump, but they don't think this is grounds for impeachment. So she's appealing to most Democrats. They're not these crazy extremists like Bernie Sanders, Joe Biden, Andrew Yang. He's an extremist. He's just following in Bernie's footsteps. Yeah. Well, I guess that'll wrap up today's episode. Special Saturday edition. Thank you guys for watching. Please follow on Twitter, subscribe to the YouTube channel, share this on social media. I hope you all had a good Christmas. Hopefully you all have a good New Year's also. So I will see you guys in the next stream, and have a great rest of your day.